welcome back to Hannity. So during my exclusive sit-down interview with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange in London earlier this week, I asked him what advice he would give President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and President-elect Trump. Well, here's what he had to say. What's your message at the end of this election and this process, and hearing Hillary blame WikiLeaks, James Comey for her election loss? What's your message to Hillary Clinton?
Well, I don't think Hillary Clinton is particularly important anymore. But the Democratic Party is important. It's important to have a strong opposition. And the Democratic Party now has a moment where it can go through a reformation. But it can only go through that reformation if it looks at the genuine reasons for the loss. The genuine reasons, to my mind, for the loss is because the rigging of the primary process. They didn't pick the strongest candidate. So there's an internal market, which is the primary process. You battle it out with the different contenders, and the idea is that the strongest candidate is what you then send off into the main election. That didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Because the DNC...
It was rigged. The
DNC no longer represented the genuine interests of the Democratic Party. And that's the problem. So my message to the US Democratic Party is now is a moment for reformation and for renewal of the Democratic Party. Take the information that we have published, which shows who the different players are and how they work within the DNC.
Learn from it.
Clinton. Learn from it and reform. And because every government has to have a strong opposition to keep it efficient, accountable, honest, etc.
Let me ask about your message to Barack Obama through this prism. He's now joined the ranks of blaming WikiLeaks and Russia and hacking for having an influence in the election, meanwhile ignoring the documents from China, his own attempt to influence the Israeli election. But what would your message to him be?
Well, there is a documented attempt to interfere with the election. We published it, which is the rigging of the primary process.
What an irony, right?
Yeah.
There's the proof, but he's not focused on that.
Right. Barack Obama, as if you like, as an elder statesman, he should be helping this reformation in the Democratic Party. That should be his natural position. And to do that properly, he has to be seen as someone who's independent and trustworthy by the Democratic
base. An elder statesman.
He has to pull away entirely from that Hillary Clinton network. Pull away entirely, say this was a problem, we've got to learn from it. He's not saying that, and I think it's just a terrible thing for the Democratic Party that he isn't. And frankly, it's not good for him either. He needs to be seen now as someone that's above all that he's above the fray. He's a fair arbitrator of the different factions.
What would your advice to the incoming president, the president-elect, Donald Trump, be?
I think it's to learn from that, to learn from the mistakes that were committed by Hillary Clinton, learn from the mistakes of Barack Obama, especially in this area of transparency. If you can get the information out as soon as possible, then you can correct as soon as possible. So I think that Donald Trump, early on in his administration, he needs to set a standard. He needs to go to someone in that cabinet. Okay, you're a friend, maybe even ally, but you did the wrong thing here by the American people, so you're fired. And that standard needs to be set early, that no one is immune to betraying their role in the cabinet.
He can be honest, transparent, and forthright without using the media too, which has been proven to be hostile.
Well, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that he's seeing that he can go straight to the public and not have to massage the interests of media proprietors who have many different interests, or the journalistic class, which has other interests as well.
Very few people in the media, and there was even one major national news organization that were willing to cover the depth of what WikiLeaks revealed, what these emails revealed, what were the contents in these emails. Now, I have, for example, a lot of the major headlines. You know, you've got the collusion between media organizations, giving Hillary Clinton questions ahead of time, asking for questions that they can ask Republicans in a particular campaign. They're up to their eyeballs.
Giving Donna Brazile
Donna
debate
Brazile is
questions.
one. John Harwood is another. Katie Couric offering to showcase her personality. In other words, a fluff piece for her. And it goes further than that. Reuters, then you have the New York Times and Politico. And they are literally giving them editing opportunities before an article is published. I've been interviewed by both those publications, and I can assure you that's never happened to me in my life, nor do I think that same consideration was given to Donald Trump.